How to get over the pain of rejection. In this video, I'm going to share valuable tips on how to handle rejection. It's Sabrina, your personal love advisor from A New Mode, the channel where we show you how love actually works. Rejection is an inevitable part of life, and it's brutal, especially if you already have a shaky sense of worth to begin with. But even if you don't, it hurts. It hurts to be rejected. If I could write a note to my younger self, it would say, "Don't take it all so personal. You're wonderful. If someone doesn't see that, let it be their problem, not yours." Unfortunately, my younger self didn't get the memo, and any type of rejection, especially from the opposite sex, would just send me spiraling and would wreak havoc on my self-esteem. And those types of wounds can take a lifetime to heal and will inevitably spill into your next relationship. If you end up in a place where you fear rejection, then you'll anticipate it. And this will make you more likely to be rejected, thus affirming your belief that you aren't good enough and you will be rejected, hence paving the way for more rejection, and the vicious cycle will continue on and on. So let's nip it in the bud and talk about how to get over rejection with your head held high. I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it, so make sure you watch this video until the end. Real quick, if you like this video and find it helpful, please give it a like. This is a super quick, super easy way to help me out and help me grow my channel. Also, make sure to subscribe, ring the bell so you get notified whenever I post new content, and follow me on Instagram for daily relationship tips at A New Mode. Now, all you can really do in this world is be your best self and be confident. This is essentially what will make you rejection proof. If you want to learn more about how to do it and how to be that high value, confident woman that men are irresistibly drawn to, then I have good news. Me and Eric, he is my partner on A New Mode, we created an entire system devoted to teaching you just that. It is called the Love Formula, and you can download it right now or when you're done with this video at getloveformula.com, and I will link it down below. It took me a really long time to learn how to deal with rejection. And even now, it's something that I struggle with, even though I consider myself to be a mostly actualized, mostly confident person. Even still, sometimes one mean negative comment on this YouTube channel can ruin my day. And ever since I started this channel, dealing with that rejection it's a skill, it's a muscle that I constantly have to exercise. So I definitely relate to you who have a hard time with it. And I think that I've gotten much better with it. I've definitely developed a much thicker skin, and I'm gonna share my tips with you. Number one, you can't win them all. I actually got this phrasing from a former roommate of mine. One night I was talking to her about this guy that I really, really liked. He seemed so perfect for me, and he just didn't want me back. He just didn't want to date me, and I was really upset about it. And she looked me dead in the eye and said, "Sabrina, you can't win them all." And oof, it stung, but it was so powerful and it stuck with me. And it really just made me feel better because it's true. You can't win them all. And it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Sometimes it just isn't a match. This isn't just a relationship thing. I mean, oh gosh, I remember when I graduated from college and I was going on interviews for jobs. And at the time, I really wanted to be a fashion and beauty editor for a magazine. And I was interviewing, and those are very, very competitive jobs. I'm interviewing and just getting rejected. It was brutal. I mean, honestly, I feel like that was the hardest year of my life, trying to find that first job and dealing with all that rejection. Because you're like, what's wrong with me? A lot of the times there's nothing wrong with you in relationships and jobs or anywhere else where you can face rejection. It just isn't a match. But a lot of us don't see it that way. We see it as there's something wrong with me. I'm fatally flawed. I need to uncover what this flaw is and fix it. But the thing is, there is no flaw. So you make yourself crazy for no reason. You feed into this insecurity. You chip away at your self-esteem by picking yourself apart and going over every interaction, everything you said at the job interview or everything you said at the date, and looking for what you did wrong when really it was nothing. If a guy rejects you or an employer rejects you, it just means they weren't the right one for you. Maybe they didn't fully get you. Maybe they didn't fully see the scope of who you are. Maybe you just have qualities that don't mesh with their qualities. It could be any number of things. Number two, remember it happens to everyone. When someone rejects us, most of us will immediately think it's because we and only we are fatally flawed, and we are the only ones experiencing rejection in this entire world. But that's not true, because it happens to literally everyone. Maybe this person rejected you because their life is overly complicated. Maybe they're overburdened. Maybe they're in a cynical place in their life. Maybe they're unable to see the good in others. Again, going back to the previous point, maybe it just wasn't a match. I know it can feel so personal when someone rejects you, like it's you and only you that is not good enough. But like I said, it happens to everyone. Every supermodel was rejected by countless agencies before she found one that signed her. Amazing women with everything going for them get cheated and get dumped and get rejected. The smartest people don't always get the job. Rejection is just a part of life, no matter how much you have going for you. You're setting yourself up for so much unnecessary pain and misery if you take it personally and make it all about you. I mean, personally, one thing that makes me feel better when people say mean things to me is that I realize, like, you know, women out there who I think have everything going for them, if you look at their Instagrams, people are saying mean, negative things to them too. So it's really not just about me, and that really helped me learn not to take it all so personally. Number 3. No, this doesn't mean you're going to end up alone. The hopelessness we feel after being rejected is the irrational fear that we will never find anyone, that we are going to end up alone. It's amazing how anxious, worried thoughts can take us in that direction. Like one person rejects you and you think, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, I'm unlovable, I am just going to die alone surrounded by a bunch of cats. You might also think that you will never find anyone as good as the guy who decided you weren't good enough. Oof. This is a powerful one, and this happens a lot. For whatever reason, when someone rejects us, we put them on like a silver platter. Maybe at first you thought, oh, okay, he's an okay guy. But as soon as he rejects you, you're like, well, he is just the end all be all. He is amazing. He has everything going for him, and I will never find anyone as amazing as this guy. The fact that he's not with you is all the proof you need that he is not the right guy for you. You don't need anything else other than that. But the good news is that means the right one is still out there. Number 4. Don't hold on to hope. Hope can be a wonderful thing in most cases and most scenarios. But if a guy rejected you or dumped you, take it at face value and just move on. Don't hold on to hope that he'll see the light and will change his mind and will show up at your door with a stereo over his head declaring his love for you. I'm not saying he won't. I'm not saying this is impossible. But for now, it's important to focus on being in the present and just moving on. No good can come from holding on to these fantasy scenarios. You're just setting yourself up for disappointment if it doesn't come to pass. And if he does see the light and he does realize you're so amazing and he shows up at your door, then great, that will be a pleasant surprise. All you have is the present. And if he doesn't want you in the here and now, then that's all you need to know. Just move on with your head held high and let go of the hope that things are going to change. Again, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But right now, this is what is. Number 5, don't punish yourself for his oversight. Don't try to make yourself feel better with self-destructive behaviors like drinking excessively, hooking up with tons of random guys at bars for an ego boost, by binging endlessly on ice cream or starving yourself, all in the hopes of numbing the pain that you feel. Because the fact is, pain doesn't go away just because it goes unacknowledged. Being rejected by someone that you really care about can really hurt. But it doesn't help matters to just hurt yourself even further. See it as his loss rather than turning on yourself and finding reasons why you weren't good enough. You are all you have in this world, so be kind to yourself. Now, this point resonates with me especially because this is how I used to cope with rejection and pain. I was the punisher. I would punish myself with all sorts of self-destructive behaviors. Anytime I would get dumped or rejected or ghosted, I would just rip myself to shreds. And after and then as I got older and as I got wiser, there was one time where a guy rejected me and I started, going down my usual path of being totally self-destructive. And then I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do the opposite. It's going to be opposite day. I am going to take really good care of myself. I am going to exercise instead of starving myself. I am going to, be really healthy. I am going to have a positive attitude. I'm not going to go down that same dark path that I usually do, even though the dark path is familiar and there's a comfort in the familiar. And I decided to make that change. And slowly by slowly, I really started to become a person that had high self-worth, that had value, that actually respected myself for the first time in my life. And it's no coincidence that soon after that, me and my ex-boyfriend from high school got back together and eventually got engaged and got married. And now we have 3 kids, for those of you who are new here. Honestly, the more videos that I make and the more I talk about myself and my life and my past experiences, I'm really starting to convince myself that I might need to write a memoir, or at least like a semi-fiction version of my life and my relationships, because there's just so much to learn from my mistakes. So let me know what you guys think about that idea. Maybe when my kids are a little bit older, that's something that I'll do. It's really important to remember, happiness is an internal state. It's something that only you can achieve and it can't be gained from the outside. Someone else can contribute to your overall level of happiness, but they cannot provide it for you and they cannot be your happiness. You also can't develop a sense of worth and self-esteem from the outside. These things come from within. If you rely on men to tell you who you are in this world, you will always be at their mercy and you will always have a void that needs to be filled. And your life will just be a painful series of ups and downs, of not knowing if you're worthy, if you're unworthy. You're just waiting for the world to tell you who you are rather than defining yourself. Before you can be in a relationship with someone else, you have to work on the relationship you have with yourself. You have to see yourself as good enough and worthy of love. You have to be able to get to a place where you feel fulfilled and you feel happy. And once you're in this place, anytime you get rejected, it might still sting a little bit, but it won't rip you apart the way that it used to. I hope this was helpful. I hope this helped you. I hope this gave you some tools and some mindset shifts to help you deal with rejection. Let me know what you think in the comment section, or if you have any tips that you'd like to share. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at A New Mode. Subscribe to the A New Mode newsletter for daily relationship tips and advice and personal stories and all that good stuff. It's anewmode.com/subscribe. And if you want to learn what it takes to be that high value woman that easily and effortlessly attracts high quality man and can have a healthy relationship, check out our Love Formula system. You can get it at getloveformula.com. You can download it right now. I'll link it down below. I will see you in the next video.